Amud Yomi Masechet, right at the top, first line. If a person partakes from this world, he eats something without first making a bracha, it's like he steals from the Rabbeinu Shalom and Knesset Yisrael. He steals the bracha, like Rashi says, or according to the other Meforshim, Marsha, it's as if he steals the food. Like we learned before, we're only entitled, Arts and also Bnei Adam, only if you make a bracha. If we don't make a bracha, it's not even ours to take. So it's like he's stealing Kodesh Baruch Knesset Yisrael. Shenemar goes alavi v'imay v'aymer ain't pasha chaver hul ish mashches. He steals from his father and mother, and he says there's nothing wrong. He's a chaver, he's a companion to an ish mashches. Vein aviv el Kodesh Baruch Hu. Father is a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Shenemar aloi hu avicha kanecha. Vein imal Knesset Yisrael. Shenemar shema b'ni musar avicha val titoish teres imecha. My chaver hulish mashches. What does it mean to say he's a chaver to the person of destruction? Yerom ben Nevat, he's the one that destroyed the loyalty of Bnei Yisrael to Avinu Sheb'Shamayim. He's the one that stopped them, made impediments for them to be oil regel, and the Mamid, the Golem, the Avodah Zorah. So a person who steals from his father and mother, so there's nothing wrong, he steers people away, he influences them from their Avodas Hashem, to turn them away from Avodas Hashem. He's a chaver to Yerom ben Nevat. Rav Chanina bar Papa Rami asked us here, there's a contradiction. So the dog and the grain, Hashem calls it mine. It belongs to me. Yours. So who does the grain belong to? Like Hashem kan bezman Yisrael oisim ritzon shel malkan kan bezman shein Yisrael oisim ritzon shel malkan. It makes a difference when they are oisim ritzon shel malkan. The grain, it's ours, belongs to you. But when they're not, when they don't follow the mitzvahs of Hashem, Hashem says it's mine. It doesn't belong to you. You don't deserve it. Zon Rabbanan v'asafta deganecha ma tamud loyma lefi shenemar lo yomesh sefer atayah zemi picho. It says the Torah should never leave your mouth. You have to be learning day and night. So you might think you always have to be learning, and you should not be engaged in livelihood, parnasa, in Yomi Masechet. No, gather up your grains, your harvest. So Shmuel says that you have to earn your livelihood, and you learn, but all the time. But when it's time to be Isaac Parnasa, you're Isaac Parnasa. How could that be? If a person is going to be busy plowing at the time of plowing, and planting at the time of and harvesting at the time of harvest, and he does the threshing, and the winnowing, he's going to be busy all of these stages when he's in on the Torah. However, what it means is if people do their malach, they do the will of Hashem, then they will be blessed, they'll have a bracha, and their work will be done through others. Strangers, they're the one who will take care of your needs. They'll plant and take care and be your shepherds. With man change, but they don't follow the will of Hashem, they have to do the work themselves. It says, you have to gather. They also will have to work for others. Many people follow the approach of Rabbi Shmuel, and also they were successful. But those who tried to follow the approach of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, and they were not successful. Please, these months, don't come before me, don't come to learn and ask shilas from me. Because if you're going to be busy, these are the busy months, then you have to be Isaac Parnasa. If you're going to be Isaac and you're learning on these busy months, then the whole year you're going to have problems with Parnasa. Be Isaac in your Parnasa at the time of these months, and then you'll be free to learn the rest of the year. The Meforshim are bothered by how can Rabbi Shimon Yochai say Vasafta de Ganecha is Bisman that they're not Isaac Ritzon Shel Mokaim. It's in the Parasha Vayam Shalot Tishma. It's in the parasha of, if you will listen, then I will bring the rains. Vasafta de Ganecha. The Ritva splits up the parasha. Vayam Shemot Tishmu. And Asafta B'Taretz Chembi Toyiram Lakash. I'll bring the rains. But Asafta de Ganecha is talking in a time when they're not following the will of Hashem. Now, it doesn't mean they're not following at all. It means to a lesser degree, not to the wholehearted degree. They're not following the will of Hashem wholeheartedly. So then they will have a bracha that they'll have the grain, but they won't have the bracha that the work will be done by others. If they follow Hashem wholeheartedly, then they'll have the bracha that others will do this manual labor. So he said the following. He said that look at the difference in the generations. Look at the difference in the Yerida, the generations. There's Harishayim, Moshe Terasa, and Keva, Malach, and Arai. The earlier generations, their main preoccupation was in Torah. Their work was secondary, as soon as time beyond them. They were successful in both. There's Ha'achrayim, but the later generations are also Malach and Keva. They make their Parnosa, the Iker, the Terasa, and Arai, and their Torah secondary. Zivazu, Loinus can be beyond. They're not successful in either of them. Another member, he said in the name, there's Harishayim, look at the difference in the generations. There's Harishayim, the Deres Harishayim wanted to be able to fill the mitzvah of giving Meiser. And as we'll see, the mitzvah in Torah of giving Meiser is only when the produce comes in through the main entranceway of the house. Then it's Kavel of Meiser. So the earlier generations made a point of bringing it in the house into the main entrance of the house so that it would have an obligation of Meiser, so that they can be Mekayim the mitzvah of giving Meiser. But there's Achrayim, Machnis Perisim, Derech Gagas, Derech Chatzeres, Derech Karpipas, Kedel Pajim and Meiser. The latter generations, they wanted to find a way out, a loophole, as to not have their giving Meiser. So they used to bring the produce in through the rooftops. They used to bring it in through storage areas, in the yard, storage yards, not through the main entrances, and to be patr from the Meiser. The chiv, the rice of Meiser, is when it comes through the main entranceway of the house. He says even bringing in the main entranceway of the chatzar, that also will obligate the Meiser. In your chatzar. So the girsa that we have over here, there are traxaman, there are chatzeres, there are pipas kedel potman on Meiser. This the girsa of chatzeres, does not stem with Rav Yochanan, and Rav Yochanan says that chatzer is mechayim. In different versions, the word chatzer doesn't appear. Here it does appear, so perhaps this is referring to a different chatzer, not the main chatzer of the house, because Rav Yochanan says the main chatzer is mechayev in Meiser. Chutz min hayayin, so the Mishnah said that on the peiros of the Elon you make a very priyais. Except wine, even though it comes from grapes which grow on vines, you make a special bracha bori priyagav. Why does wine have this special bracha? Because it's been refined and processed. It's in a higher form, so the fruit is the grape. At a higher level, on higher form, is the wine, so it has a special bracha. So and therefore it has a special bracha, affecting more of Raishem and bracha. What about olive oil? It stimulates the same thing. Obviously, olive in a higher form is refined and processed further, is oil. And we don't make a special bracha. The Amar of Yud, Amar Shmuel, Amar Yitzchak, Amar Yochanan, Shem and Zayis, Mevarch, Malab, Boy, Proya Eitz. You make a Borei Pri Eitz, you don't make a special bracha. By the oil, by the olive oil, we don't make a separate bracha. We want to suggest because we can't. We don't have a nusach of the bracha which is appropriate. Because how should we make the bracha? In what manner should we make the bracha? Nivrach borei pri hazayis, to make the bracha borei pri hazayis, that Hashem created the fruit of the zayis. The olive is called a zayis. So borei pri hazayis would imply that Hashem create the fruit of the olive. Well, the fruit of the olive is the olive oil that was processed by man. So it would be inappropriate to make the bracha borei pri hazayis because the zayis is what Hashem created. This is borei pri hazayis. Why don't you say the following? Borei pri eitz zayis. We can make simply the bracha borei pri eitz zayis. He created the fruit of the olive tree, which is the olive. So why would not that be an appropriate bracha? So why do we not make a special bracha on olive oil? The reason why wine, specifically wine, has a separate bracha, special bracha, is because chamra zayin. Because the wine is zayin, it nourishes, and mishcha loy zayin, and not oil. Frag the Gemara, is that so? Mishcha loy zayin. We learned in the Mishnah in the Darna Neder Minam Mozayin, a person makes a Neder Minam Mozayin from Mozan, mutar b'mayim melach. Water and salt is not called Mozan. That's not called Mozan. V'avina b'mayim melach u'dolo yikra Mozan, hakol mili yikra Mozan. Means to say that it's only water and salt is not called Mozan, but everything else is called a Mozan. I named David Yufzid Rabbi Shmuel. Is it not a kash on Rabbi Shmuel? Only ein bevarchim bori minei mizaynais ela bechamisha mina belvad. Only on the 5 types of grains you only make in zaynas. So it can't be that everything is called Mozan. Now, rather, what we're saying, what it means in the Mishnah, referring to Nedorim, is when he says Kol Hazan Alai. When he says Kol Hazan Alai, Mozan is only the 5 meaning. Hazan, something, Kol Hazan, anything that sustains. Anything that sustains a person, all types, any food sustains a person. Water and salt does not give a significant amount of sustenance. But everything else does. But Mozan, when we talk about Mozan, we talk about that which really the main sustenance that a person derives and that it fills him, it nourishes him, it satisfies him. That is only from the 5 types of grain. But everything is called Zan. So Alma Mishka Zayin. So olive oil is Zayin. So why is it that the wine has a special bracha and not the olive oil? Elad Gemara suggests Chama soy or Mishka loy soy. The wine, it fills a person up. It satiates him, but not oil. And that's why wine has a separate bracha. Frag the Gemara v'charma mitzoy. Is that true? When Pesach, we want to eat the matzah l'teyava. We want to eat it with an appetite. We want to eat it in kind of the mitzvah of eating matzah. We want to eat it l'teyava. So Rav, in order to stimulate his appetite, he used to drink wine on Erev Pesach so that he would be hungry and eat the matzah's mitzvah l'teyava. So he's so you see that no, it stimulates the appetite. You're suggesting that we make a separate bracha because it satiates. We see just the opposite. So Gemara answers tuva goria porta soid. If you drink a lot of wine so that it stimulates the appetite. Now that's what Rava did in order to eat the matzah l'teyava. But porta a little bit, it satisfies you. And that's why wine has a special quality, and that's why we make a separate bracha. Frankly, more misoid klal, is that true? V'aksiv, v'yain isam lavav enosh, v'lechem lavav enosh, is wine gladdens the heart. Bread, it fills the person. Namu, the soy. So apparently it's bread that satiates. Chamra soy, but not wine. Elo, the Gemara says, Chamra is betarti. The reason why wine has a separate bracha, special bracha, because it has 2 qualities. Chamra is betarti. Soy umesamech. So when the pasuk says that wine gladdens the heart, it doesn't mean that it's not soy. In addition to soy, it also gladdens the heart. Nama misetzoy tzmuch lo mesamech. But bread only has the one quality. It fills the person, but doesn't gladden the heart. So therefore, wine has these two qualities, a special quality. They make a separate bracha. Well, if that's true, just like you're saying that a nama, bread, is soid, and wine is also soid, well, just like we bench, we say shalosh brachos, we say the full benching after bread, why don't we say it after wine? More answers, person does not make a sudan. It's not the derech of people to have a meal with wine. Right? Even though it does fill him up to a degree, but that's not the derech to have a meal on wine. So therefore, we don't bench on our kaveya suda, where we're kaveya suda we bench, and wine we're not kaveya suda. Well, let's say a person does. Let's say he makes a meal out of wine. Should he bench? When Eliyahu Novi comes, he'll give us the answer. Whether that's considered a kaviyas, whether he should bench. But but in the meantime, however, it's bottle daita, and therefore, since people generally are not kaveh suda on wine, he would not bench after wine. But l'maskonas hadvorim, the reason wine, and specifically wine, has a separate bracha because it has this special feature quality that it's been refined at a higher level than the grape, and it fills a person, it satisfies him, and it fills him. That's why wine has a special bracha.